much more than just this limited name and form. In fact, the worth of all beings is much more than the limited name and form. All beings, living beings, they are Sat Chit Ananda. All living beings. But only a human being has the gift to recognize it. The other beings, in one way, don't even need to recognize. If they don't recognize that they are Satchidananda, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Simply because they cannot do, they cannot think, they cannot imagine anything other than their limited dharma. Every living being has a limited dharma. What is limited dharma? That's what we call programming. Cow is programmed to be what it is. A lion is programmed to be limited dharma. Limited swabhava. They cannot plan to destroy anything. They cannot plan to indulge. They cannot even plan to have a good time. In a party. They cannot. So besides what their limited lifetimes are, their limited behavior is, the beauty is, they cannot even worry. They cannot even have complexes. That space is not there. They cannot think in terms of competition. It is all right. Two lions run after the same deer. It is all right. But there is no sense of competition. It is very clear. Whoever is faster gets the deer. There is no big planning before. There is no planning after. There is no big stress. You don't get the deer. Go look for another deer. Isn't it? So they don't need this, they don't have the need to know that they are Satchidananda. Because they don't have, number one, the competency to know it. Number two, they don't have the need to know it because they don't complicate their lives. They cannot. But in the case of a human being, it is very different. I am Satchidananda. And my clothes are this body, mind, sense, complex. Now, first of all, my starting point, I am born with complete ignorance. Forget about knowing I am Satchidananda. I don't even know who I am. I have to be told this is your name. This is your family. And you have to study this. And this is your country, you have to behave like this. These are the rules. Isn't it? Then, look at this. A human child alone. A human being alone. Since it's got will, free will, it has to be taught etiquette. Because we alone can cross. A baby calf cannot cross. A baby horse cannot. Baby lions cannot. Only a human baby can go past certain norms. Why baby? Human adult. So because of this will. So I have to be told. First I have to be taught niti. Niti means this is codes of conduct. This is how you should behave with your elder brother. This is how you can behave with your younger brother. This is how you behave with your parents or differently with grandparents. They need certain more respect. After all that is done, etiquette is taught. Now the next hurdle a human being faces is, because of this heightened awareness and free will, the big problem, the eternally persistent problem of this human being is the need to compare. He is like that. Why can't I also have that? So his nose is perfect. My nose is good. It goes on and on and on. Nose is just what you already have. Later on it comes with my wealth, my family, my prestige, my status. Because of this need to compare, then the human being falls into the next complexes. Satchidananda is far away. We still don't know where Satchidananda is. Now we have gone to the path of the middle. So the next is the complex. I believe what I hear. I believe what others say. Now, I am this body, mind, sense complex. I have these qualifications, I have this status. But look at the double trouble. It is very difficult for me to see who I am as I am. I see myself through other people's eyes now. Correct? So other people, what they think. If they think I am silly, yes, I am silly. If they think I am intelligent, I am intelligent. So our whole life is based on hot air. Hot air, some words of some other fellows. Alright, suppose you say, now I won't base my life on what others think. Let me look at my own strengths and weaknesses. Again, the hurdle comes in. I look at myself, my strengths and weaknesses, but I can't stop looking at the Jagat, which is so overwhelming. There is so much that I don't know. There is so much that I don't have. So then when I compare myself to the Jagat, leave others alone, leave the people around me alone, even just the universe, I can't help feeling small. And then I have to do something to prove I am somebody in the universe. This is all based on my own thinking. So this is where the Shastra comes in and tells us, you have no choice. You have the gift to know that you are Satchidananda. You have no choice, you will have to know it. Because if you don't know it, you fall into either of these two traps. Which two? One is you live your life through other people's eyes and words. If you don't get into that, the second is you believe yourself to be as small as you see yourself. What you see, you believe. And that is not true. So the Shastra says you have no choice. You better know. You better know what you are worth. Now to know what you are worth, you may say, so simple. Just tell me. Just tell me, I know. What is that? So you are told, alright, you are Satchidananda. You are existence, consciousness, bliss. Translation. Does it make any sense? Existence, alright, I exist. Consciousness, alright, I am conscious. Bliss, so I am not bliss. So bliss comes once in a while and I get hold of it. And the next problem is, you are told you are Satchidananda. Superficially you understand these English words. It's existence, consciousness, bliss. Next step is you have to understand. What is the truth of this? How is it? How does it apply to me? What is this bliss they are talking about? What is this Sat and Chit they are talking about? Process of Shravana starts. In the process of Shravana they tell you, if you have to take in and understand, you have to have certain attitudes and values. You cannot have Shravana, you cannot take it without a preparation. That preparation is attitudes and values. Chapter 3, Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, tells you the basic attitudes and values. Chapter 4, a refined Karma Yoga. So refine those attitudes and values. It flows into chapter 5. Chapter 3, 4, 5 have told us enough to be prepared for Shravana and Manana. Now we have heard, we have got those attitudes and values. By the time we come to chapter 6, Bhagavad Gita, Dhyana Yoga, hearing Manana has played its part. Now, the next hurdle is removing, getting rid of, or eliminating the habitual patterns of thinking. No matter how much I know, the habitual patterns of thinking. So all of us know so many things. All of us know what is good to eat. So that is knowing. Shravana you have heard. Manana you have thought about it. But habitual pattern of thinking. Your hand will go exactly where you should do it. Habitual pattern of thinking. Dhyana steps in there. Concentration, focus of thoughts is what dhyana is all about. It's a preparation. So there is a physical preparation in a clean place, no noise, sit on your own asana at the same spot. Then keep your body fit, agile, sit comfortably. Samakaya, Shiraha, Griva, head, neck, body aligned in one line. Then focus your thoughts, focus your sight. In other words, don't let your eyes and thoughts wander. All that physical preparation. For what? To help us focus thought. In that focused thought is like focusing a ray of sunlight. It has tremendous power. Similarly, focused thought has tremendous power. This is what removes the habitual thinking patterns. This is what we call dhyana. In dhyana, we reiterate to ourselves the same thing that we have heard in Shravana and Manana. All that we know. So this chapter is talking about all the facets of Dhyana Yoga. Now, so far we saw the physical preparation. The physical preparation is not over. We finished 16? Let us continue. 17 continues to show us what is required for
Yuktesha
destroyer of sorrow. Yogaha dukkhaha bhavati. This jnana yoga becomes dukkhaha, destroyer of sorrow. In other words, this yoga will help you. Jnana yoga will help you by destroying sorrow. Under what conditions? Conditions are mentioned here. Under these conditions, yoga dukkhaha bhavati. In this verse they use a very important word, yukta. Yukta means a deliberate, moment to moment, careful looking into. Looking into and appropriately regulating. Regulating. So what have we said? First, deliberate. Deliberate means you have to keep your thoughts there. You have to focus. Next. Moment to moment. You cannot decide. So I was, very aware yesterday. Today I forgot. Every moment. Then carefully. Very carefully. You don't force your thoughts. You don't have a tug of war, pull and push. You don't suppress yourself because possibility is available. Suppression is available, indulgence is available. It's like careful. Careful means with some compassion, with some care. There is no strain. So you regulate, but without this suppression or indulgence, either way. So you look into it and then appropriately regulate. Regulate means you have to do something. Regulation means you stop yourself somewhere. This much you go, this much you stop. Appropriate. Appropriate to your situation, the place you stay, your personality, what you need. That is your appropriate. That is yukta. So when it comes to yukta ahara, your food has to be like this. All this yukta. You understand the meaning of yukta now? You have to use all these words for your ahara. Deliberate, conscious, moment to moment, careful looking into and regulating, appropriately regulating. Every word is important. Because only we can either eat too much or too little. Only we can eat what we like and avoid what we don't like. We can do that. So yukta means you have to look into. Now ahara is food not just for the tongue, for all the senses. Whatever you take in, do you regulate? Yukta ahara. And then vihara. Vihara is, so ahara, what you take in. Vihara is what you give back through your actions. Ahara is organs of perception are regulated. Vihara is organs of action. Sense organs of. So sense organs of perception and then organs of action. Both have to be. We are talking about preparation for dhyana. Isn't it? Dhyana will work under these conditions only. Yukta ahara viharasya, for such a person. Yukta chesha cheshtasya. Cheshta is effort. Yukta cheshta. Yukta cheshta means, again, not too little effort, not overstraining yourself. Yukta cheshta, you regulate. You know what is your capacity. So you live, you act according to your capacity. See, the beauty here is, you have to be so highly aware and alert to recognize, I can do a little more, or this is where I should stop. You have to decide. Yoga is entirely personal. You have to know, you have to decide. So yukta cheshtasya, for a person who has appropriate effort. Yukta cheshtasya, karmasu. Karmasu, in actions, he has appropriate effort. You know what that means? This whole business of overworking, extra hours, and then no sleep, and deadlines. This whole new world of you have to do running, deadlines. So they are saying you are disqualified. You can do that. Don't do Dhyana Yoga for now. Are you understanding? Very important. You have to choose. Dhyana Yoga is for a person who is not rushed like this by internal or extraneous factors. Earlier in this chapter you have seen all the internal factors he has resolved. Yukta, he is a Yukta person. Yukta person means all the inner conflicts, all his pressures and anxieties and worries and stress he has resolved. Here he has to resolve the pressures coming from outside. Karma. Inner karma also is inner and outside. So very important. It seems like the way things are going, people are beginning to believe, it's a habitual thinking pattern, I must have a deadline if I have to work. It's becoming a habitual. And the work culture is also becoming that. We must have this. You must have it. You know? It's like a child and exams. You have to know it within this period of time. Same thing continues all your life. It's all right. Deadlines are all right. If they too are carefully looked into. So appropriate number of people, appropriate effort, appropriate time, carefully looking into. If not, he says, this yoga, Dhyana Yoga becomes very difficult. This Dhyana Yoga will not become the removal of sorrow in such a case. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu. In karma, he has got appropriate. You know why he says this? Another reason is because a human being has one more hurdle. The hurdle is he can forget himself in enjoyment or in work. He can forget his purpose, forget his goals, forget his relationships, forget emotions, forget to eat, forget to bathe, forget to sleep. All that is possible. Isn't it? Only we are some rare species. That's why he says, you have no choice. Because you have the capacity to lose yourself, you better be careful. Yukta. Be aware. That's what people say. So many years I have lived like this. Pata nahi chala. I don't know I'm doing anything wrong. The years have passed. So maybe we take stock now. Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, for such a person who is appropriate effort in action, and then yukta swapna avabodhasya. Swapna avabodha. Swapna is sleep. And avabodha is wakeful state, wakefulness. Sleep and wakefulness means a person who is very particular about how much to interact with the world. Wakefulness means interacting with the world. Swapna means withdrawal. Anything in excess is bad. You need time to be with yourself. So you can take that swapna over the literally. Swapna means enough sleep, enough wakefulness. That's true. To take it one step further, how much you interact with the world, how much you are just with yourself. Staying, being with yourself rejuvenates you, like sleep rejuvenates you. It's just that sometimes we don't have an opportunity to sense it, to experience it. Our lives just run along with trivial situations. We have no time to rejuvenate, just to be with yourself. The swapna avabodhasya, to such a person, yogaha dukkhaha bhavati. This dhyana yoga will become the remover of sorrows. What sorrows?